Hey, Eliza,
What?
do you know what a spoonie is?
What on earth is a spoonie?
Okay, you have to guess your wildest guess what you think it is.
A spoon?
It is a spoon. Do you know something?
I had no idea.
Yeah. Well, we're going to learn about spoonies today. How about that?
Okay.
Okay, well, let's get started. Welcome to the Get in My Head podcast. I am your host, S.M. Holland, and thank you for joining me. Today, we are going to be talking with Catherine. She has worked in the social work field in Canada for some time, and we're going to be talking about spoonies. What is it? What is a spoonie? What is it for? What is its importance? And why do people use that term? Anyways, let's get started.
Hello, I'm Catherine from Montreal.
A couple months ago, I ran across this term and I had no idea what it was. And I thought it was so silly. And then you explained to me the purpose and the usage of this word, which apparently is very popular with a lot of people who are suffering from mental health problems and also chronic fatigue and physical problems. And the term is spoonies. Yes, can you explain to me what that is? What its importance is, and why it has seemed to blow up online.
So Spoonies derive from spoon theory. It's a time management tool to help people with chronic illness, whether it's physical or mental, to better manage their time and their energy levels. So basically, it's using spoons as an image to measure the energy you have to go throughout the day to do either social activities, chores, appointments, and when you spend out all your spoons, then you're depleted. And the goal is to spend all your spoons throughout the day to not end up depleted, because depletion means being tired, having to nap, being exhausted, being not mentally there, needing to rest, needing a break, or isolate yourself depending on your needs and how you are in your mental place. So spoon theory, is a term that's quite frequently used, especially in mental health spoons, because of the symptoms and the trouble sleeping and the limited energy, tiredness, gets tired more easily. So spoons are a really great tool to measure what you can do during the day. And some days you have more spoons and some other days you have less, depending if you depleted all your spoons the day before, if you slept bad, if you're having a rough mental health day. If it's winter, there's a lot of reasons why you could have, less spoons. And, if you always deplete your spoon, then you go into negative spoon. And when you're in negative spoon, it means that every day you have less and less spoons to go with your days. So really, it's just a way to make an image, to imagine and calculate our energy levels.
Are there other terms that people would use to describe themselves? Because I noticed online you could look up #spoonie and people will say things like, I've used all my spoons for today, or I have 2 spoons left, or I'm starting my day off with 5 spoons, or I'm starting my day off with 10 spoons and stuff like that. Is this maybe a place where people can go for support, or is it a place where people just go to dump their stuff and walk away, move on with their day kind of thing? Vent.
So when people say their spoons on social media, do they want to support, or did they just want to vent? Right?
Yes.
Okay. I think it depends on everyone. Some people it really depends on people. Some people are out of spoons physically, but they still have spoons of mental energy or social capability, so they're still able to talk and they still want to engage with others and they want the support to just relate with others with their conditions, while some just want to vent, and when they're out of spoons, they're out of all of their spoons, because not all spoons are created equals. You can have X number of spoons for energy, like physical activity, like appointments, grocery, chores, and you have another number of spoons that is widely variable for like mental work and writing works and social activities. They're all different spheres, so it all depends on everyone.
Yeah, I think it's a cute way to go about explaining how you're feeling and stuff, because a lot of times when you're struggling with like mental or physical health, it's hard to explain it to people who don't understand. And then when you do try to explain it, a lot of people think you're complaining or you're being dramatic or, just suck it up and move on. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
I think it's like
a great way to depict your fatigue and your tiredness. And I'm not just, yes, I'm tired. It's the end of the day. When I'm out of school, I'm really, really, really tired and I just can't function anymore. So the goal is to keep enough spoon to function, to be at a functioning level. So if you speak with people that tries to understand and they're like, you know what, yesterday we had a really big day, so today I'm out of spoons. I spend them all.
I do want to talk a little bit about, because like the term Spoonies kind of goes into community, and because it is a hashtag online that you can look up and like find a community of people who also suffer with mental health or physical health, or maybe they have a disability or just not neurotypical in a way, which makes it exhausting to walk through this neurotypical planet on a day-to-day basis. And so it can be very exhausting. So I just want to put that out there, that the hashtag Spoonie, go online like Twitter, and you can find a community of people who can relate to you, which oftentimes I think that's important stuff, because oftentimes even close friends or family, even if they are empathetic, and they're willing to listen, unless they have experienced what you've experienced, they don't all the time necessarily understand what you're going through or how you're feeling.
Yes, and sometimes they may know what you're talking about, but they don't relate the same way. They have a different or particular experience. And sometimes, especially with family members or friends, it could become some sort of contest of who's the more tired. And it's not very, very helping. It's not very productive as a conversation. And sometimes it's good to have friends with certain distance, whom you can rely on. And yes, there's the hashtag where you can find people relating to that. There's also Facebook groups for Spoonies. There's private groups also going on Twitter, on Discord. So there's a lot of groups also that are more out there on the Facebook world, and group chats kind of things as well.
Yeah, I want to bring that into the importance of community, especially in the mental health community, and talk about why it's so important not to walk this journey on your own if you have a mental illness, especially like we said before, because a lot of times close family and friends can't relate. So it's important for you to step out of your comfort zone for a hot minute to find other people who are just like you in that mental health aspect, and can relate.
Especially because I think mental health can bring a lot of shame, a lot of guilt, a lot of helplessness. It's really good to relate with people who struggle as much as you do, or with similar struggle, and it really helps normalize what you're going through, because the problem with mental health, instead of physical health, is that it's all in your head. So you're
Mm-hmm.
always dealing with your illness and you have no comparison. You have nothing to go off with. So if you can share with other people and externalize what you're feeling, it's really, it's healing in some way. And of course it will never replace a therapist or a mental health professional, that's for
Mm-hmm.
sure. But it's also good to have people in the community with whom you can just be sometimes, you know what, I'm having a really rough day. I don't have much food today and I just want to talk with you. I just have some dark thoughts last night and I was really on the edge and it scared me and I don't want to go to the hospital and I just feel I need someone close to me to speak about it without ringing all the alarms and just being able to be myself.
Yeah.
So finding people in the with similar mental health problems, and it doesn't have to be the same diagnosis or the same reality that you have, because you don't want to find your twin,
Yeah.
because you don't want them to compare with you or to set some sort of competition, that wouldn't be healthy, and you don't want also. What's also, the downside of the Spoonie communities is that if you're really low on spoon, it could be really triggering, to just hear all the other people's problems and difficulties, and you're like,
Yeah.
whoo, okay, now it's too much, and it's okay also to take some space sometimes if you need it. And this is where it becomes difficult to put your limits and to know where your limits, and this is what the spoon theory helps and gives you, its limits. It's
Yeah.
clear, concise, spoon, or whatever tools you want to use to measure. Sometimes I use like poker chips. Okay, today I'm out of poker chips. I'm not going out with you today. Let's do that tomorrow maybe. And it's a great way for abled people or non-mentally ill people to visualize what you're going through and to measure it and to be like, okay, so understand what you're going through with my Cartesian way.
Yeah.
and it makes sense. And I understand.
Yeah.
With whatever capabilities of understanding they have of
Yeah.
that mysterious illness that's going to our minds.
Yeah, I really do like that visual. I might even like carrying around a bag of spoons myself so people can see. I have one spoon left. Back off.
And if you don't stop, I'm going to throw it in your face.
Yeah, I think also being able to find a good mental health community too through something like Spoonies or whatever is that not everyone can afford a therapist or a psychologist. And even though this isn't necessarily, it can't take place of a good psychologist, you can still find people in these communities online to give you like help, like tips and tricks of like how to be able to sustain yourself, how to learn to recognize triggers, because there's all kinds of like information online.
Oh yeah, very knowledgeable.
So, and I think, just being able to find a community like that is helpful in so many ways.
Yes, and it's a great first step for people finding out their illness or being unsure of what they're going through, and can be very, very scary when you first realize what's going on and that you might have some sort of neurodivergence in your brain. So finding people who can relate to you in that way is very, very helpful.
Yeah. I know, like, for me personally, it's been so helpful because I can find people who suffer with their mental health and be like, okay, well, I'm starting this medication. Like, what did it do for you? Or what are you on? And most people are, especially online, because, there's no barrier. Like, it's easier to converse a lot online,
Absolutely. And especially after being in so many Spoonies group, I can tell you there's no too much information in those groups. People are very honest about any type of physical or mental problems they have, because they really want to find answers. And there's a lot of anxiety going on. You don't understand your body and your mind, and it's good to have like, okay, so am I the only one? Do I need to seek medical help, or is this normal, and how is this gonna go away? And why I think online communities are so popular is that it's really scary to go outside for mentally ill people. It's really
Yeah.
scary. It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of spoons to go out. Just, commuting and going to a strange place. So that's why also online communities are so accessible, affordable, and they're really, and if it gets too much, well, you just close your phone or your computer and call it a day, and it's okay.
Yeah.
So it's really 24/7 support for free without going out, which is great.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind not going out. That would not make me mad.
Or especially for remote people, people who don't have those services in your cities. You talk about affordability, but there's also accessibility of services. Sometimes it takes a long time to have mental health care or have access to a support group in your community.
Very true.
Or it's the first step to talk to people and be like, oh, maybe I would like to go into a in-person support group, or maybe I will call the phone line because, that was the end of my sentence.
I think that brings up a good point, because I don't think we realize how difficult it is for a lot of people to get professional mental health help based on, like a lot of situations. And I know we talked about this a little bit earlier and stuff, but I think it's like important to nail in the point that, even if you can't get help necessarily physically where you're at for whatever circumstance, there are other ways of going about it, online or other groups. Even like some cities have mental health support groups.
Yes.
That you can find online, or community centers, or religious centers, or libraries, or...
Absolutely, and phone lines as well. Some community group or some mental health group, they have video conference or like Skype conference for people who need to, who can access the locations but still want to have access to the content. I think it's a great way to get information as well. And like you said, the problem with mental health instead of universal health care is that there is no universal mental health care. So even in cities where you have universal health care, it would be really tough and expensive to get mental health care, because either you have to go private and you owe for your insurance to reimburse you. But sometimes they would reimburse like $500 a year, which is like 5 treatments. And when you're dealing with the mental health problems, you need much more than that, usually, or just seeing a psychiatrist in the public system in Canada, it take up to 6 months, a year after you had suicidal episodes, which is unacceptable. So yes, some countries also have universal health care, but there is no universal mental health, which is a shame, because it differs services that have cut their funding. So that's why the online community is really important and really has its value.
Okay, so what do you think about people who say all this new mental health stuff going on is a fad, and that it's going to fade in a couple years, and that people are just trying to seek attention?
I think this is crazy. They're all the crazy ones. But more seriously, I think mental health problems and people dealing with them have more awareness. We talk about it more. We break the taboos. We break the stigma. And I don't think this will fade. If this fades, it's because people are getting healed. People are getting treatment, and it's not, as heavy, which I don't think it. I hope it will be one day. I hope coming prevention and prevention and also testing will occur more, so people get more treatment and more care. But I don't think it's a phase, and I don't think it's gonna go. People are sick, and they're more into their emotion, they're more into with what's going on in their minds. Society moves so fast, and we're all trying to adjust ourselves, and it's really hard. And we're bombarded with societal standards and images, and sometimes it's hard to take your breath with all of this. So I don't think this is going to resolve itself. I think it's why we need more tools. We need to still study it. There's so much things that need to be done, and
Yeah, no, I think I agree with you. I think because of people being more vocal about mental health and what is happening, I think it is going to help develop better resources in the future.
Absolutely. To say that it's a fad speaks ignorance and lack of knowledge about mental health problems, rather than, oh, this is just a trend. Like, this is care. This is life. Depression, mental health problems can be fatal. So
yes.
It's as serious as diabetes, as cancer, as whatever illness you would treat. It's the cancer of the mind. In my mind, anyway. So I think it would be ridiculous, and it would be imprudent to really dismiss it this way.
Yeah, very true. Very true. I could not dismiss what is happening in my brain.
No, don't dismiss it. Not dismiss.
Nope.
Retain.
I know some of y'all are really struggling right now, and if not you, you know somebody who is. If you need help, please check out my website, smholland.com. There you'll find a list of help hotlines where you can call or email or text to be able to talk to somebody if you need help. Remember, you're loved so much, and your life is a life worth saving. Thank you so much for tuning in and helping me break down the stigma surrounding mental illness. Until next time, just keep moving forward. I love y'all. Bye.